we're streaming live, available in 19 frames a second. Oh boy, look at this. I mean, the simulation is struggling under the load of all these entities and all the backs and forths. And look at it, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's 7 star systems. I might have been to those, that's why the name comes up. But yeah, and it's really struggling. It is, which is a shame, because I want to... I definitely want to build a Dyson Sphere over there. That's an O-type star, it's very bright. And why do I want to do that? Well, there's 2 reasons. God, it takes an age just to move now. You know what? I'm going to use this. This will make things quicker. There we go. I can at least start to deconstruct some of these items as they are no longer needed. And I mean, this is pretty good. That goes all the way there. So I'm going to do one... I would like to line it up, but that copper's in the way. Really don't seem to use that much copper in this game. Maybe I should have done it the other way. Like it goes along there. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, okay, let's do that. Hello, Top Cat. God, we could have done with Top Cat yesterday. We were doing a 14 words about Manchester and its canals, and I was thinking to myself, surely we know somebody that's familiar with Manchester and the canal system, what they've got there, what with, you know, living there and all. But wasn't meant to be. Was not meant to be. So I'll do that, yeah. And then we'll have a line coming out there. Raise it up. Raise it down. Raise it down? You raise something down. Raise to the ground. That's a good one. Raised to the ground. But it's not raise as in lift up, is it? It's raise as in raise something, as in erase it from existence. Yes. So this, let's see here. Do that. Yeah. That. Really, I think it's redundant having these extra charging facilities. I've got to build it up, but this isn't addressing the issue. I noticed that there was a production bottleneck, and it's that bane of my existence in playing this game. It is the electromagnetic turbine, so I shall make some of those forthwith, post-haste, post-hastum, etc., etc. How's that for some Latin? Yeah. Latin's dead sexy. So I'll just pop those in there, do that, do that, do that, do that, do that. And now let's walk over there so that I'm close to the construction site. So my construction drones don't have so far to fly. Travel and fly. Well, they're flying to where they need to go. Okay. So, what's going on? Well, one thing I can say is that this place, it doesn't produce as much power as the other place. And, but a Dyson... Well, it's not a sphere at the moment, it's more like a Dyson belt. So let's go to the planner. Let's go here. So 13 gigawatts isn't bad, but it could be better. So, there we go. Now the simulation stopped, it's actually running smoothly again. Oh, if it could just do that all the time, I'd be happy. Right, that's one stratum done. Let's do the next latitudinal ridge. I'm using straight lines on this. I'm not using the curved lines, which is remiss of me. And I think in the next design, I might go with them. Or I might go with straight lines, but not doing these. Oops, that one's messed up. So remove that. And then that. And I think I might even sort of rest on my laurels a bit and just say, well, hey, you've got all of this done. Do you need so many solar cells? You probably don't. What if I actually just shut down the solar cells now, like said? That's it. You ain't gonna put any more in. Let's see what happens, shall we? Let's see what happens. Because I've got 108,000 in the swarm. That's 108,000 entities. I'm hoping once I got a Dyson Sphere up, it's just... I mean, I say it's one entity. It's one entity comprised of many entities, but I'm hoping rendering a Dyson Sphere is less processor intensive than that. It's even getting to the point where I'm looking on eBay for second-hand processors for an upgrade. Very pleased to see my one is still going at auction for £140, which isn't bad for a 5-year-old chip. It just goes to show the incredible demand that's in for electronics, what with us not being able to do our lives. So people that never would have before are trying out this PC thing which they hear so much about these days. So something which used to be a niche hobby has become increasingly more mainstream. So now I've just got to fill in these panels. There we go. So do you remember these castellations from before? These castellations which you're so proud about? Kind of fell to the wayside. Let's just keep filling in these squares. Click, 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 click. This is good content, isn't it? Oh, I'm watching someone clicking on squares in a game. But it's all for a good reason. It's all for a good cause, as you shall see. Yes, sirree, you shall see indeed. So we'll just get that done, and click, 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 click. Oh, that one's not quite right. So I'll remove that node, and then we'll do there, yeah, and there. There we go. So many little squares, like so. So now if we run the simulation again, we should get many launches. So let's just go over there. Not this one. It's on the other pole. So we'll go to the other pole. And there we are. Right. So let's say with this one, I wish for you to stop demanding those objects. So let's just see. Well, that's going to deplete fairly quickly, isn't it? Yeah. I'm starting to think, you know, that copper isn't as valuable as this real estate, so yeah. This demands some foundation, that's what we want. I'm going to pave it over. Yeah. Going to do good. Right, so there's no more silicon there, so clear that one. Iron. Irony is gone. There we go. So now there's a procession to pick up foundation. Excellent. So you're watching this now. I'm in the process of doing this Dyson Swarm, and as you can see, Merope 2 is launching a stream of rockets every 5 seconds. No, not every 5 seconds, every 6 seconds. Is that right? Well, that would be 10 launches in a minute, and it does 5 launches a minute, so it's every 12 seconds. And we see another fleet of them. They're going towards nodes, and there they go. They form some nodes over there, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason to it, but that's what they're doing. And our solar cell should rapidly come to a close, but we'll see that happen in a bit. Right, so now, do you know, at first when I was playing this, it's like, how do you get things from a hub? I don't see how. You right click on it, and then you drag your slider back and forth. So let's see. I want to bury this underneath, and then inventory is full. Yes, sirree. Good it is too, that it is full. So now, what about these? What about the Quim? Oh, there's only one. Thought I had more than that. Well, let's ask for some. Wow, it was at 8,000 a few seconds ago. It's down to 3,000 now. So let's demand ray receivers. That's a ray receiver. Demand. Make sure it's no more than 500. And 1,000 is going to be sent. So there we go. Right. And that storage box, you know what, it can remain there. It don't matter. It don't really matter. And that copper is going to have to remain there for the moment. How are we doing on this? Down to 2,000. So soon this will be over. And then after half an hour's time, those 120,000 solar cells there will expire, extinguish themselves. But not to worry, because the solar panels which are part of the Dyson swarm, see there, those are permanent. They're not going anywhere. 13.2 gigawatts of radio waves which will not behave. I should start watching C-Lab 2021. After all, we are in the year of C-Lab. C-Lab at the bottom of the sea. No, don't demand any more of those. So let's see where... C. El Dushi, he will speak now. He goes, C. I see you have spoken to Saint Francis of Assisi. Now these don't have graviton lenses in them. So let's see if I can figure out a way of doing that. If it's feasible or not. But that looks like about as much as I can stuff in there. Can I stuff one more in here? Hey, look at that. I can stuff one more in. Oh, get stuffed. Ah, crap. Didn't mean to do that. Just lost a bunch of ray receivers. Pooh. Never mind. And that's it. There's no more solar cells, so these will have to stop firing when they run out of their ammunition. So in the meantime, let's have some graviton lenses. Graviton lenses. If I was a graviton lens, that's where I'd be. Green eggs. Nah, there's a contact lens. Surely. There we go. And a consignment of 1,000 gets sent out because you don't get a choice. And of course, because this is another sphere game, things are a bit weird around the poles. Huh, the poles are always weird. I've got an idea. Oops, no, don't do that one. Right, so if I go... No, you're going to have to do a bit more. Now let me... CCCCC. Well, first of all, I'm going to have to do that, because all of these need a splitter. Yeah. As they don't use sorters to go in, they use belts. So now that I've done that, we can establish that the this is on that level. Right, so it's that level. No. Let me think about it. Let's go down there. Yep. So this just needs to come out a bit and then go wide. There we go. Now, I'll put that there. I know this looks messy, but bear with me. So, there only comes out solar cells, and yeah. So, I'll just do the graviton lens, and I'm hoping what will happen is that only sails are coming down there, and only graviton lenses will come out there. So we'll see if my theory proves true or not. We shall see. You know what? We can use... Ah, bugger, can't use that. Angle too wide. That is annoying. So... Well, I'm just going to keep that one in there for the moment. What about you? Can I do you? Let's see. Yep, you can go in. You're not complaining. Now, what about you? You going to do it? That says it's okay. So... Put one there. That looks as if it's going to line up. Yep, that lines up. There we go. Do that. Right, next up. Nope. Not going to work on that one, so we'll just skip it, go to the next. And the idea behind this is currently we've got 5.46 gigawatts. I thought we only had like 1 gigawatt. Okay, cool. Well, we're going to have a bit more than that soon. $5.45. 5.46, yeah. So what about this one? Is it going to work? Nope. So on to the next. That one will work. I can see it does because it's on one of the meridian lines. I think it's called a meridian line. Hey, great. My fire's starting to heat up to the point where it's dealing with damp wood. So what about this one? Is that going to work? Nope. So we can just skip ahead and go to the next one. And I think this one will work. Seems to be one works, one doesn't. So do one, you skip one. I can just tell by looking at that that's not going to work. So we'll skip that. And instead of doing the splitter on this, I'm just going to do a bridge like that. Now, what about you? Nope. So carry through on to the next one. And look at that. The guns have gone silent. But not my phone. My phone keeps making bloody noises. Why don't you shut up? Oh. Someone's trying to phone me. 0209. I don't know who 209 is, but can you just... Right. You go on silent mode. It's pissing me off, that is. I swear my network provider's selling my number on to third parties. Don't see the point. It's like they must know. It's like, oh well, you know, here's a database of active numbers. So cold calling companies ring up and it's like, all of your assets have been seized. Your national insurance number is ring this number. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Unfortunately, it does work. I've known people close to me that have fallen foul of such schemes. The target of fraud. Very sad. Very sad indeed, yes. In fact, I would say if any demand for payment, I would ignore it. I mean, by all means you can read it if you want to ruin your day. But you should know better than anybody else what you owe and what you don't owe. And if you don't owe it and someone's claiming you do, I can say, well, I'll see you in court then. And that one's not going to work either. So... Oh yes, I see. Well, I was doing that because I didn't know any better at the time. Right, so now, in theory, no graviton lenses should come down. Yep, they're just going round and round. Excellent. So, put the graviton lenses back in there, except I can't, so we're going to stop demand of those for a while. Pop those there, do that. And then do demand again. Now let's just do another demand for solar cells. No more than that. Well, that's made things a bit quieter. And it seems that things in the swarm are going to the panel, so good. What's our we're now 5.59 gigawatts, so yep, putting in those graviton lenses did make a difference. I'm glad I did it. Wasn't many, but at the same time I could always put more out there, so God, I'm being very articulate today, aren't I? 3 hours sleep, everybody. Went asleep, woke up with a horrible throbbing headache, and yeah, so it was quite a pain in the arse. And hey, look, that's working. Yep, so that's working. Solar cells going out there, graviton lenses going out there. So unfortunately this does mean they'll be shooting again, but hey ho. And if you watch my video I did previously of planetary annihilation, you'll see that there's a different use for a unit cannon, as it were. So that's going to be complete, and then when that's complete, what are we going to do? And hey, look at that, it seems things that are in the swarm are moving out. So you know what I want to do is I want to fly into the sky. So bright, so pretty. Now that is a sight to behold. But I'm not done looking at sites. So what we got? 98,000, and it's going to go below that. And that's probably not because they're expiring, but because they are just attaching themselves to these nodes, as you can see here. And that's why I'm trying to make as many nodes. This is as many nodes as you can do. This is the tightest spacing you do. Like 1, 2 spacing between these. which means you got the tightest node shaping possible. And as you can see, these solar cells, they're floating in, and they're floating into where the nodes are. So if I go, say for example, let's speed up a bit. Hobbit, what is wrong with you people? The French. Well, my grandfather's father was French, so that means I'm 1/8 French, which would make me, if you're going to use percentages, which is ridiculous when talking genealogy, 12.5% French. So I don't know what's up with the French. You tell me, Bayeret. But here we go. We can see these solar cells. They are going towards the nodes, and that's why our solar swarm is slowly dissipating. But anyway, let's go back to our starting moon. Do we go back to the starting moon? Or do I go to one of these other places? Problem is I can't really see where I'm going because all I can see is just this Dyson Sphere. Oh, I know. Let's go back to Merope 2. So let's see. Where are the planets? Ah, here we go. Merope 2's there. So I should be seeing. There it is. There we go. And do I see a Merope 1? Probably not, because it's probably fired off all those solar cells, hasn't it? There we see the fleet of construction rockets going to their respective points to make more frames. And there we are. Landed on the planet without realising I'd landed on the planet. See there's not many of those because there's not many of those. There's not many of those because you need electromagnetic turbines. But unipolar magnets is another way of doing it. Well, do you electric turbines because I don't have unipolar magnets, but believe you me, I am going to be considering my options. Anyway, here is our crown of research. And if I go to that, 4.7 gigawatts, right. So let's do some research. We can do Dyson Sphere stress system. Ooh, look at that. That's fast. Yeah. There you go. Research is done. Now we're going to have to wait a while for that buffer to build back up, but build back up it shall. And, oh yeah, I've got graviton lenses in there because they're going towards the ray receivers to improve their collection efficiency. That's why we're doing it. So now I've done that, if I go to the Dyson Sphere and I say I want to edit, do you see there's now a layer above and below? Yep, so we got that. So that's kind of cool. So now, if I do that again, a level 4, let's do a level 4 then. So, we're doing level 4, and we can see that not all of these are lit up. So it's going a lot slower than before, because it hasn't got the requisite research in all but a few of these labs. And that therein lies the rub. Got all of those, but see the red's not getting that far. Neither is the purple. But that's okay, that's what we want. And yep, they're demanding from all places, aren't they? Local supply. Don't know why I'm doing that, but I am. So, if you're watching this, welcome to Dyson Sphere. Unfortunately, my simulation is limited to 18 frames a second. If I go to my task manager, Dyson Sphere game is using 13% of my CPU, so I think it's limited to a single thread. Since Windows 10 update, my task manager has become a lot less detailed, and no, you can't just click more details. What's my graphics card doing? It's 44% usage. 3D's 44%. Video encoding 16%, that'll probably be the stream I'm doing. And dedicated GPU memory usage is 2 gigabytes? 3.5 gigabytes. So it's not as if it's using all my system resources. So I could get a faster processor. I probably will. So it's been 5 years since I've done anything, and I think I'd like to change that. But the real problem is this game needs better optimization. It is early access, so I really hope one of the new features they put in it is the feature of, hey, this will make things better. So how far is our purple science getting? Because this research is going really slow in comparison. So the purple seems to be getting out quite far. Let's follow the yellow. I have them going in alternating circles, and I think that's quite clever because that means that, see, some are getting more than others, and we can see that this one here is lacking red, and it's going to be lacking purple as well. So the first bit of research was fine. It was just like zoom, done loads, and oh, look at that, a red ship come in. That's pretty and colourful. I love how the logistics vessels change colour based on what they are transporting. That's such a nice feature. It really is good. But yeah, it looks like the next Dyson Sphere stress system, blah-de-blah, blah-blah-blah, is going to take a while, because what I'm effectively doing is using these laboratories as a buffer to hold everything in, and it takes, as we can see, some time to replenish that buffer. But how's our Dyson Sphere going on now? 85,000 solar cells in orbit, and generation capacity of 3.9 gigawatts. But 13.2 gigawatts is produced by the shell, and as we can see there, it is that stage is complete. So I could add another stage onto it, I would say. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so what am I this is going to be fun watching, isn't it? Well, you know, that's what you're here for. You're here to watch Hobbit doing his thing, which is building a Dyson Sphere, and you know, we're all enjoying it. We want to see this circle turn into a sphere, don't we? Yes, we do. So let's just keep on adding to it and doing it in the same method as before. I mean, why not be methodical about this? Why not just have a great big structure here that does the job we asked it to do, which is to harness as much light from the sun as possible and convert it into energy for our nefarious purposes. Did I say nefarious purposes? I meant to say completely evil purposes, as I use it to generate antimatter, which I'm going to inject on babies in Kuwait. I don't think you can really inject antimatter into anything because it's explosive, but I wanted to make it sound really evil. Oh, you are evil, Hobnob. Don't mind if I do. Evil. Yes, very evil. Well, they were taking babies out of the incubators in Kuwait and dashing them against the walls. They're so evil. And that's why we need to import them into our countries in record numbers. Hang on. If you're saying they're evil, we need to fight a war with them, and that war will create refugees, and we need to house the refugees here rather than the nearest safe country. Are you saying that's a biological weapon and a punishment against the population? Because I don't know about you, but to me it sounds like there are no winners in these wars. Nobody's going to win from this. And I'm sure the people conspiring to have the wars will say, but we will win because everyone else will be weakened. And it's like, yeah, but you'll be weakened too. And they probably even accept that. Probably it's like, yes, we will be weakened, but we'll still be stronger than you. Very, very strange, uncooperative philosophy that is. I can't say that's one I would adhere to myself. Just the idea of like you become king of the shit heap, but you become king. Don't really. Just doesn't seem right to me. It's not right. It's not good. It's not just. It's evil. That's what it is. It's evil. Just like injecting babies with antimatter. Why would you do such a thing? They just explode. You so much just have antimatter in the same country as them and they'll explode. Because of course we all know here on Dyson Sphere program that matter and antimatter cannot exist. They cannot coexist peacefully. They will commit violent annihilation. If you have a gram of antimatter, it will combine with the nearest gram of matter around it, and all of that mass will be turned into energy. So effectively you've got 2 grams of mass, which then becomes energy, and it will do so as fast as possible. How fast? I don't know. The US Air Force might know, because they do have antimatter, and they've bragged about making and storing large quantities. I imagine large quantities being like 100 grams, because that would be enough to... Would that be enough to destroy everyone in the world? Certainly make a very large explosion. What's my point about this? The antimatter, yes, that's it. It is supposed that if you've got it, it will just convert into energy in an instant. It's an instantaneous explosion. It's not a slow reaction at all. Which is speculative, but I don't know. To me, it sort of seems straightforward. Yeah, matter and antimatter cannot coexist, and if they did, the results would be disastrous. So why am I talking about antimatter? Well, you see, one of the reasons why I'm doing this thing here, which is so laborious, is because I need vast amounts of energy, and the only way to get vast amounts of energy, really, is to harness the energy of a sun, which is what I'm doing by building all these panels. And then when I have all of this vast amount of energy, I will be able to produce antimatter. There's a few steps involved, but those steps aren't insurmountable. And once I have surmounted them, I'll have antimatter. And when I have antimatter, I'll be able to produce white power science, which, as we know, is everybody's favourite science. Hey Hobbit, what would your action be if after spending all this time creating a sphere in your image, some flat Dysonian soy boy came along in a few thousand years and said it's flat? Anger and furious vengeance. Yeah, I mean, the world is flat, but it's nice to imagine that the world is a globe and these things work in the way that people say they do. And as for a game, I mean, it's fun. I mean, I quite like to see games about flat Earth and exploring and, instead of like faster than light vessels, you've got a vessel which is able to drill a hole into the ice wall and keep it open long enough that you can travel through. So you couldn't just create a tunnel to another world. You'd have to constantly replenish and repair the tunnel as the ice wall freezes over and closes the hole up again. Maybe with good reason. It could be that other worlds are inhospitable to our own and don't contain our atmosphere, or the atmosphere is far denser than our own, or the atmosphere is sulfuric acid, whereas our one's oxygen, or it could be an atmosphere of just nitrogen. It could be, and you wouldn't want that rushing into our sources. So I've done that. What if I do it on the other? I've got to do it on this side as well, haven't I? It's got to be done. I mean, there's no ifs or buts about it, guys. It's got to be done. If I don't do it, then we're going to be here again. No, you could say, yeah, Hobbit, why don't you just do this, off air? So, alright, let's do that then. Let's just fill in. Alright, there we go. There's one little spoke. And we'll run the simulation again. Is this the planet? Yeah, this is the planet with my vertical launch sites. That's it. And that silicon is in demand, so I'm not going to just pave it over. So if I zoom out, there it is. Whoosh. Next one, please. Readying, and whoosh. There it goes. Off to form a new layer. A new stratum in my Dyson Sphere. Funny enough, it's speculated that the way you'd make a engine to move an entire solar system is there we go. Now you can build a Dyson Sphere even further up. Is you'd build like a half sphere, so you would have this bit capped off at the top, and this bit at the bottom would be open, and then what would happen is the solar wind would be compelled to only come out one way, and it would effectively turn the entire star into a thruster, and you could move in a solar system that way, assuming you hadn't just taken all the planets in the solar system and converted them into material for your Dyson Sphere, because I don't know if you can make it razor thin like this one is. But there we go. We see already this first bit of this layer is coming up, and if I go to the simulation, we find that we're down to 78,000 solar cells, and more coming out of their orbit to go into the Dyson Sphere itself, and so we're seeing the change happen. Excellent. So if I just go to that and stop running the game, and how far can we go now? Deployment conflict. So I can't do it there. So I'd have to go there. Yep, this is where it's starting to compress. Well, I'm going to do this now then. I think this is a good point to do it. So as we get to these polar regions, I'll find there'll be more and more deployment conflicts, I think. Yes, quite. Yes, indeed. So, we'll just do this, yep. Fascinating, yeah. Then we'll have to figure out how to connect them. It's going to be a bit skew with, but that's okay as long as it works. That's the important thing. And whilst I'm more concerned with function over form, and it'd be nice if it's got some sort of pretty look to the functional form. So that one could go there. No. No, 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 no. No. No, we're going to do one there. That's it. So it's going to be a bit of a hubbaloo, but hubbabaloo? Hubbabaloo. That word doesn't sound right. And yet here I am saying it. Hubbaloo. Hubbaloo? Hubbabaloo? What's all the hubbaloo about? I think it's hubbaloo. I think that's the word I'm trying to say. A commotion is a hubbaloo. It's one of those words where I probably heard it said on Yogi Bear, but then he would say it in a certain way, wouldn't he? And put extra syllables in which were unnecessary. Hullabaloo. 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 Fuck. It doesn't help. The more I try and pronounce it, the harder it gets. That's the opposite. It shouldn't be like that. But so we got some rectangular panels. Now what about next up? Can I go there? Nope. Deployment conflict. So hullabaloo. Hullabaloo. There we go. I'll get it right eventually. Hullabaloo. Fuck. Have you ever had it with words where you try and say them, and like the more you try and say it, the more the word sounds incomprehensible? Isn't that strange with words where you start saying them aloud, and then when you say them all over and over again, they lose their meaning, and very strange things the words are. And people say that spells are words, and that's why in order to correctly form a word you have spell-ings, and if you don't do your spellings correctly, the word will be incorrect and it will be wrong, and people will look at it and go, that's not right, because there are certain ways these words should be, and if you do those ways wrong or different, it's like that. It just makes you go re. So let's not go re. And so we were doing 2x2 panels, and this bit will be a rectangle which is 2x6, and here we got 3x3. I think it's actually 2x3. Yeah. 2x3, 2x3. Oh, that is a lot of clicking. I wish there was an easier way to design these, but it seems that the makers of Dyson Sphere program they didn't just want to say, yeah, here's a Dyson Sphere, you can build it in sections. It's a case of, here's a Dyson Sphere, and rather than us telling you how a Dyson Sphere should look, you can design any logo you want, any design you want, any shape you want, any size you want, within reason. You can't just have it a millimetre off of the sun's atmosphere. Do suns have an atmosphere? I think they must have some sort of equivalent for the atmosphere. Like, this is the bit where, mind you, like the atmosphere on a planet, the boundary is nebulous. And this is assuming they are what they say they are. And as we live on the flat Earth, then our atmosphere is contained by a physical barrier, not an electromagnetic one. Although there definitely is electromagnetic forces there. So now, that is done. Yep, that's done. So, once this completes, even though I've not completely capped off the top, this would mean the solar system would start to go that way. See, it would be going that way. It's going to go up. Yes. Still getting some of this out. Yep, there we go. There's filling up more and more, and then there's the last gap of the blue. Alright, so that's the blue done, and then we can do another one of these, or we can do this one, which won't use many stuff, and that will enable antimatter research. So we'll do that. Yeah, so we do some green and some red for antimatter. And then that unlocks the artificial star. And then that unlocks the universe matrix. And then let's have another Dyson Sphere stress system, another Dyson Sphere stress system, so we can get all of the layers of it. So anyway, that's our... I'm very thirsty. I'll be right back. But before I be right back, let's blast off into space, shall we? And yet somehow, well, this Dyson Sphere is... Maybe it's the sort where it's a bit like a Matryoshka doll. You're supposed to have one layer on top of the other layer, so the bit of light which comes out of that will be trapped by another layer, which should be trapped by another layer. But that one, that's 3 light years away. With this technology, we'll make antimatter into fuel rods. Great. So now I'll be able to make critical photons, which I need to make antimatter. First of all, let's go over to Delta Telescopii. Yep. And make electromagnetic turbines. And then I'm going to make a facility for making particle containers, but the advanced recipe which uses unipolar magnets instead of graphene electromagnetic turbines. Both of them use copper, but copper's not the bottleneck. So, there's a planet, artificial star. You have unlocked the power generation facility of the mini sun. It can input the tremendous energy of antimatter fuel rods into power grid into a stable and controllable way. Ah, yes. In the most stable and controllable way. So here's our facility which converts fire ice into hydrogen and graphene. It's not doing much at the moment, as we can see. Yep, that's warp speed in this, hyperspace, where you warp from one planet to a star system to another. And I am absolutely parched, so I'll be right back. That's a cool drink of water, but it tastes slightly soapy. Universe Matrix! Yay! White power crystals. So to make a white power crystal, you need all of the other colours plus antimatter. To make antimatter, you will need critical photons, which are made in the ray receiver. Antimatter fuel rod takes antimatter, hydrogen, and annihilation constraint sphere, which needs particle containers. So, yes, the most based kind of crystal. Based on what? Based on a true story. So there's 2 different recipes to make a particle container. There's electromagnetic turbine, copper and graphene. And there's the other one, and we have bottlenecks on electromagnetic turbines, so This is our Casimir crystal facility. And it's fine. There's our other one. Ah, that's right. That takes... There's two different types of crystal. Optical grating crystals are a rare resource which you can just harvest. Titanium crystal is something which you need to produce, which can be produced from organic crystals, which, frankly, you're just going to be mining it. The process for making it is so involved and complex that you just... No, you mine it. Although in the start of the game you have to make it the other way, and it's a pain in the arse. And oh look, somebody's demanding all of that. Great. So, let's get one of these down. Plop it down there. Plonk it, plop it. Plop, plonk, plonk, plop. So, I think an electromagnet definitely needs a motor and the coils. And you export that. Yes, I was right. So, put those in there, put those in there. Make sure there are some warpers so that it can jump from one system to another. And I'll set it to local demand. Make sure we get plenty of power. And power in this one is, these are charged batteries, and as the batteries or accumulators decharge, they go back into the tower to be exported. And the recharging facility is in our home system, where it's taking that power from the Dyson Sphere and it's charging up those batteries. So that's where I can export that power to other star systems. White power. White power from the sun itself. White power, white power, white power. Also, my favourite of all the Power Rangers was White Power Ranger. So, there's a bit of Hobbit trivia for you. It's like all the other colours and they're struggling, and then it's like, there's White Power Ranger. And White Power Ranger is more powerful than all the other Power Rangers. I was surprised to find out recently, and it explains a lot, that the Power Rangers was two different things. There was a Japanese Power Rangers, and all the fights and such are from that. And then there was this completely different show made for the American audience. So the American show took the battle scenes from the Japanese show, and they sort of redubbed it. But the actual stories and plots were just had little, if any, relation to what was going on in the other one. So yeah, which also explains why the actors were sort of completely different, because they'd have Black Power Ranger actually be black, whereas in the Jap show, there's all Japs. Did you like the live-action film version of the Power Ranger? Well, considering it's all live-action, I never... That's the thing, there are so many different versions of the Power Rangers as well. There was one in the early 90s, and that's the one I watched. And I know it was to sell toys, which I wasn't too interested, but I did find it kind of interesting, because of course they'd have those sort of scenes where all the toys are flying towards one another, and you can see they're plastic, but... And then they kind of they're doing those move animations, and then they combine together, and it's like, oh cool, it's like Transformers and Lego put together. Never had Transformers either. I did remember at school people had Transformers, and I thought the most interesting of all of them was this Transformer which had a Transformers, was it the Autobots logo on his chest, and it was that colour changing based on temperature paint. I've seen it before on there was a car which had it, so based on what part been in the sun was a different colour. To it started off black, and then it goes sort of green and orange and red. I forget what all the phases are, but yeah, and I just thought it was very cool, and I thought it was pressure related, because it's it seemed the harder I pressed on the chest plate with the colour changing paints, the more the colours would change. There's probably a case of that the harder I was pressing on it, the hotter my thumb was getting. Yeah. Yeah, and I've seen it as well, like you can get colour changing tea mugs, which change colour as you do your thing. So let's get the electric magnetic turbine. Yep, copy that recipe and do the standard thing. If you've seen me do this once, you've seen me do it every single time since. It's just a case of you power up your factory. You have like 4 lanes of production, or in some you have 3, depending on the. And some of them you actually have 6, because if you've got like 1 goes in, 1 goes out, well then you can have 6 lanes. If you've got 2 goes in and 1 goes out like this, you can have 4. If you've got 3 goes in and 1 goes out, you can have 3. And it seems it's very good. They've done a good job, I think, with ratios in this game, and also the automation of this sort of stuff. Different to Factorio, and like I said, this is satisfy my Factorio urge more than Factorio does. I just wish that, I mean, I'm not even, I suppose I am at the late game, but I do wish it was better optimized, because I've got a 6-core processor and a graphics card. It's not even using half the graphics card, and I have to bear in mind that 15% of my graphics card's resources I've taken for video encoding. So really, if I was just playing this game and I wasn't streaming, it wouldn't even be using like a third of my graphics card's potential. Well, I don't think it's really the graphics which are limiting this. I think it is just the simulation speed. And I'm guessing it can't be easily parallelized. I wish it could. I wish like game developers would go, oh yeah, you know what? Processors haven't really gotten faster in the past decade. So how do we parallelize this processes? The bottleneck is motors, right? Okay. So I want to extend that factory, but there's no point in me extending the factory until I find out what the effective limit of the belts are. So again, let's have a factory for making motors. So what do we need for a motor? I think we'll need plates, gears and things. So let's see. Gear and that, and let's see, a motor needs, yeah, I was right, so it needs iron plates as well. And then exports motors, and we need warpers, so we'll just have warpers in there. Dyson Sphere latitude limit +1, huzzah! So do remote demand, local demand, remote demand, local demand, remote demand, local demand. So we seem to have all of the requisite items there. And chuck some of those in. Make sure there's plenty of power. And they're gonna trundle off to get the things they need. So this will be 3 lanes, as there's, well, there's 3 inputs and 1 output. So we'll put in a factory there. And then, let's see. Go, go, Power Rangers. Dun, 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 dun. Go, go, Power Rangers. White Power Ranger saves the day again. With this stupid gay little ocarina. Do you want to read any Brutus Diaries later? I want to get it fish. Not today. Today's Friday. And I was going to do a Euro Truck stream at 7 o'clock. Might do it. But I've had 3 hours sleep. And as I know from real life and in simulation, tiredness kills more than alcohol does. I figured out that the drink drive limit means that I could have a pint of strong beer and I would be over the drink drive limit. And the previous drunk driving stream, I probably had 2 or 3 pints of strong beer. So that made me 3 times over the drink drive limit. And yes, there were some mistakes, but to be fair, it was driving at night, I was driving on unsuitable roads, and I was delivering oversized cargo, which has got special laws against it. I should try doing a normal cargo, but I like the challenge of the heavy, oversized cargo. But that was the point. I wanted something challenging to see, like, right, I'm drunk. Let's see if I can do this. Or let's just, you know, see how far I can get before I... If it's not amusing, if it's not entertaining, then I'll just stop it and just say, okay, folks, lesson learned, this is why you don't drink and drive. And then I did it, and I did rather well. I mean, I could tell you, the way I was feeling, I was like, I would... If someone gave me the keys, I would drop them. I'd just be like, no, thank you. I'm not doing it. It's not worth losing one's license over. No siree. But I didn't put the recipe in there. I have to choose a recipe. But I think it was an interesting experience. It was. It proved that I am capable of driving drunk. Everyone's capable of driving drunk, by the way. Let's just clarify that. But are you capable of driving safely when drunk? That is where I would say 99% of people would say no. No, I'm not capable of driving safely when drunk. And that was a good night as well. I think I had enough. I to the point where I could feel my head was spinning, and I was glad I was sat down. And really, if you feel like that, then that is God's way of saying you should not be behind the wheel of a car which can kill and injure other people, as well as kill and injure you. But it was an interesting experiment, and you know what? I think it was sort of fun. I think it is worth prefacing any sort of risky business like that with saying that, look, what I'm doing clearly is in a simulator, as a controlled environment where it's safe, sane and legal to do so. I need to request some belts. Need more of them. We've got some... Yeah, we've got a local supply of belts. So these electromagnetic turbines not going to do much because... but we have got a local supply of motors trickling in now. So where are those belts? There they are. Drink driving virtually is okay though. Do you want... Yeah, it is. It certainly is. Although, as I found out later when doing... Because I thought to myself, hey, this is great. I can drive a lorry when drunk. What about driving a race car when drunk? And the answer to that is no. But to be fair, that was the... It's Le Mans, that's it. It's Circuit de Le Mans. Yeah. I was just thinking, is that Circuit de Spa? And it's like, no, that's the Formula 1 course for Belgium, is the Circuit de Spa. No, the Circuit de Le Mans is for the 24 Heures de Le Mans, and where is the French Grand Prix? You see, I got this confused the other day. I thought, how is it that every country only has one, like, Formula 1 race course, but France has 2? It's got Monaco and it's got the other one. France... Formula 1 racetrack. Is it Le Mans? French Grand Prix. Le Grand Prix de l'Est. Formula 1 driving experience. Formula 1 Grand Prix de France. 2020 official website. It is... Where is it? I just want to know where it is. More information. Circuit map. It is... Is that the Circuit de... I don't recognise this. It looks quite boring. That's quite a boring... Where is that? Accommodation? Where is that? Why can't I just say, oh yeah, the race courses. So that's also in the my God, that's not too far from Monaco as well. Chat, Paul Ricard. Monaco doesn't count as France. It is boring these days. It's the Circuit Paul Ricard. It looks very boring. Thank you for pointing out. I haven't watched Formula 1 in years, but it always just struck me as like, why does... I mean, the way you could say it's like you got a German Grand Prix and you got the Austrian Grand Prix. It's like, how come the Germans have got two race courses? You know, it's like, here's the English Grand Prix and here's the Scottish Grand Prix. I just like the idea of like you've got a Grand Prix in Glasgow or something. Actually, is there any like Highlands race courses? Because I mean, from what I've seen, the Highlands have got quite some scenic, twisty-turny routes, some good country roads there. But it looks like I can extend this factory for making motors a bit further, so let us do so. Yes. Mind you, wasn't that much of a fan of Maggie Course. Italy used to have two as well, San Marino and Monza. They did use San Marino last year though. Yeah. Isn't San Marino also a city-state which is technically separate? I mean, I know it's all Italy, but like Vatican City is not Italy, it's Vatican City. So in theory, if Vatican City wanted to host a race inside its grounds, it could do so. I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, it just like the Monaco Grand Prix to me all seems like it's a bit small, but yeah, it's a bit small, and I don't know. I'd have to rewatch some of like the Formula Ones I used to watch, like the late '80s, early '90s ones, the ones with Nigel Mansell in it. I liked Nigel Mansell. It got boring when Michael Schumacher. It's like, oh wow, and Michael Schumacher wins again, and oh wow, Michael Schumacher wins again. Oh, you'll never guess what? Oh, it's Michael Schumacher. He wins again. Was there even a bit where like his teammate was going to win, but then like in the last lap he deliberately tapped on the brakes, so just in the final stretch Michael Schumacher wins again? It's like, you're kidding, right? This is as rigged as boxing and as wrestling. That's why I've got respect for wrestling, because at least with the wrestling it's like, it's choreographed. Yes, of course it's choreographed. Doesn't mean the injuries aren't real. Doesn't mean the violence isn't real. The trash talk is an act, and it's a fun act, but everything about it is real. And at least they're honest. At least they weren't trying to pretend like, oh, it really is down to the skill of the athletes. It's like, look, they're all athletes. They're all muscly, and they can all throw each other around a lot. But ultimately, it's down to a script of who we think should win. It's like EastEnders, but I'm more interested in the characters. 1980s to 1993. Yeah, the cars were good. The sponsorships were good. They had like proper like you know, good manly things before to quote Demolition Man, the world has turned into a pussy-whipped, sissy version of itself. And you had Ayrton Senna, and he was an alright driver, wasn't he? I mean, he was campaigning for safety and saying that, look, Formula 1 is unsafe, and everyone's just like, you big girl's blouse, and just to prove everybody he wasn't being a good big girl's blouse, he went and killed himself in a fatal car accident. And they were like, you know what, now he's dead, let's go and take on all of his suggestions for making it safe. Yeah, I'm glad that Brazilian's dead though. Oh yeah, me too. I couldn't stand him. Yeah, fuck Ayrton. So, Nigel, do you want to win now? Yeah, I guess I will now that Ayrton's out of the way. I'm sure it wasn't like that. I'm sure, like, if you spoke to the people before, I was like, oh no, we really loved Ayrton Senna. Oh yeah? You didn't love him enough to, like, listen to his advice when he was alive, though. So, how much of it is you saying love and how much of it's just, like, good PR? You know, it's like when someone's like, oh, Joan Rivers has died. Oh, I loved her. She was a brilliant actress. Oh, yeah, she was so good to me. All you're just saying is like, yeah, people that are still alive that worked with her, look at me. Look at all the nice things I can say about someone that's a complete shithead. I do think it was interesting when Joan Rivers said some interesting things about the then American royal family, and then she died shortly after. Funny that. People were saying it was the gay mafia furthering and widening their agenda. But that's a very crass joke. So yeah, you know, don't make such jokes because that's crass and it's rude, isn't it? Why would you do such a thing? Why would you make a joke at the gays' expense? But yeah, she said some unflattering things about Michael Obama, as she called the then First Lady of the presidency, and then she died. And I've got to admit, wasn't too sympathetic. I was like, yeah, you know, you had it coming. And okay, so that is as far as I could go, because look, I mean, this iron is getting to about there, and then it stops, so I don't need anything. I'm just going to leave it. It's fine. It's fine. But all of this is so I can make some motors, and all of that so I can then satisfy the demand for motors here. And well, what do you mean? Yeah. So you got electromagnetic coils, motors. Oh, you've done it the wrong way. You've set them both to output. Oh, Hobbit. Why don't you check your designs? Well, it looked alright to me. Of course it looked alright to you. Oh, it'd be a really nice way of just saying, yeah, everything in this factory, you know you're trying to output on belt number 2? Yeah, belt number 2, the one with electromagnetic coils. Can you just change yourself from an output to an input, please? That'd be great, thank you. No, gotta do it this way. Ho-hum, such is life, etc., etc. Frustrating. Yeah, I'm not interested in the current Formula 1, and Michael Schumacher, as annoying as he was more charismatic than the current tosspot Lewis Hamilton. He talks about, oh, it was really hard growing up on the streets, yeah? What, the streets of your 5-bedroom detached house in one of the more affluent areas of London? Oh yeah, that sounds like a real struggle. Such a struggle. Oh yeah, I'm vegan because I'm concerned about my carbon footprint. He says driving a car which does 1 mile per litre, and drives around private jets and helicopters everywhere. Yeah. Oh, and the fact that the food you get has to be imported from around the world because unlike meat, which can be grown locally, you're importing quinoa and beans from the other side of the planet. Yeah, you're really, really concerned about the planet, Lewis Hamilton. Fuck you. I like you less than I like the former Prince Harry. Right, so there's our turbine facility up and running. I guess I can put all these motors back in there. I can put that in there as well. Let's set that to remote supply, local supply. Yep. So it looks like I can extend this further. So put a bit of foundation down. Just like with women, you put foundation down as the basis of making things look pretty. Ha 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 ha. See? This is a girl's game. Let's extend that further then. I reckon we can go about that far. So let's extend all these lines. Lines and lines and lines and lines and lines. Where do they all go to? London. You know, it's really sad. League of Gentlemen was an excellent show. And the comedy really was so much of it in the actual costumes themselves. The transvestitism was funny. The stereotypical characters were funny. And it was just funny in so many ways. And the blackface as well. It was all of these things which, you're not allowed to do that now. I know you're not allowed to do it. And that's why we don't have comedy anymore. Because this world has turned into a pussy whip sissy version of itself. And it's not for the better. I know it's a lot of people's fantasy to live in such a world, and they'll live in that fantasy, and it's very unhumorous and unsatisfying existence it is too. But the League of Gentlemen could not exist in this world, and that is why I mentioned lines and lines and lines and lines, for that is one of the lines that was used in the show regarding two eccentric shopkeepers who were asked to look at an ordnance survey map of their surrounding town, and alarmed at the idea that a new road was being built into Royston Vasey, which funny enough is the real name of Roy Chubby Brown. And they didn't like this because new road would bring new things and new people, strangers with their strange ways, disturbing the sanctity and character of the local place, the local people. And the local people don't desire such things, and which is why they had to burn him. That show. League of Gentlemen, if you haven't watched it out. No, I've looked at Cades of Quad. I've seen the review of it. It's one of those games like Dwarf Fortress where people go like, hey Hobbit, you're autistic, check out this, you'll really enjoy it. And it's like, no, I'm not going to really enjoy this. You are wrong. You are mistaken. That is not the case. I'm not enjoying this. And once again, I am limited in motors, and it seems that I'm limited in gears, so I'm going to have to build a factory for gears before I can build a factory for motors. Yeah. Like Hearts of Iron. The Hearts of Iron games. I played Hearts of Iron 3, and it's just too much autism for my thing. It's like you have like, imagine you're in control of England, but you're in control of every single factory down to, like, the nuts and bolts they're building, and it's like, mate, no, can I just... This is too much simulation for me. No, I know in the... I know in the game preferences you can say, like, look, don't get down to the nuts and bolts, just let me run the country. But when I played it, it's like, no, I want the full experience. I mean, this should be most satisfying to mortars and once. And even with the stripped down experience, I'm just like, yeah, I'm not really interested in, like, varying ammunition, rations and other supplies to troops in the field. Can I just, like, say, look, that's a logistics building, and, you know, here's people running back and forth. I mean, there's a reason why people don't really bother with logistics in a game, a real-time strategy game, because it just, you get too bogged down with details. Now, it's alright when you've got, like, hundreds of people and officers and logistics, quartermasters and stuff, and you got people which will actually manage it, but when you're dealing with, when you're just one man on your own and you've got one brain, you can't micromanage so many things at once. Unless you're doing a game which is specifically about micromanagement. But as you can see here, once I've established something, it's all automated. So, you know, yeah, it takes some design to start off with, but once it's done, it's done. It's just, it works. So make sure the recipe there is set correctly. Like so. I want gear. I want gear. I want taffy, bubblegum and candy. Do you remember MCP pants? I remember MCP pants. With this really high-pitched voice. I want to go to an MC Chris show. I believe they called it nerdcore. I found it amusing in a way, but it's not saying you'd like listen to it unironically. Yes. I am tired. But being tired doesn't make a factory. So, come on, let's get her done, as they say in the colonies. They say a lot of stuff in the colonies, by the way. Things I don't necessarily approve of. That's colonials here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, so now that's done. Let's copy that there, and come on, fill in the last bits for me. There we go. Now, is there any more? Yeah, the mission completed, there's that one. Can I do any of these upgrades? No, I can't do any of those. I need white power crystals in order to get further. Because you can only go so far with coloureds before you need the power and majesty of white power crystals. Yes. So we'll copy those things over. Do that there. Like so. Right, so now let's have some of that One in there. One in there. And that will provide us with gears which we need in order to further the production of our motors. And I think I can get about that far. Yep. And let's try another one. Nope, that didn't copy correctly. That's another. There we go. That's it. So now we'll do the same over here. And then it's this row where we have the other one. So we'll try and copy that and make it the same alignment. No. Booger. I've done it wrong. How can this be? That bit's out of line. So do that again, put it there, copy that. Try not to look at the YouTube preview stream, which is showing what I did 6 seconds ago, because that was a bit distracting. And we're just going to leave a gap there and accept that. So, because my OCD is not that bad, I can accept imperfections sometimes. Do that there, do that. Do that there. Okay, so now let's see, is iron getting to where it needs to be? Yeah, it looks like they're alright. So, what, extend it a bit further? I believe so. After all, there's no point doing half measures in this. That just creates twice the work. So, let us extend that just a bit more. I was listening to a song with, that's it. It's the one which Vanilla Ice sampled in his crap song of the time, Ice Ice Baby. Under Pressure with David Bowie and Freddie Mercury. And both of those musicians are superb singers. Really good singers. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like Ice Ice Baby because it is the anthem you should be playing whenever an illegal is deported, especially in the United States. But, just... I don't know, there's something... Sampling is not always bad. Sometimes you can take sample, especially if something which isn't musical, and then finding the hidden music in it. But when you take something that is musical, and you make something that's less good out of the product, it's like, imagine if someone gave you a beautiful painting and you rip it up and you make some sort of art collage with it, which is nowhere as good as it. Whereas, say if you just take like newspaper clippings and like bits of graphic design and you rip it up and use the various pigments for colouring, you make a better thing. So yeah, sampling, if you take something that's non-musical and you make it into something more musical, that's art. If you do something like Ice Ice Baby, where you take something that's art and then you turn it into shittier art, it's a travesty. And the other travesty is I can't find the handle for my stove. There it is. No. Only room for one plug in there. That will have to do. And oh, we've run out of. No, we have done it the wrong way round. That's bugger. I thought I deleted a bit more than what I should have there, but no, I hadn't. So there we go, there's that. Delete that one, yeah. And then we seem to have reached a point where now the bottleneck is iron. We have insufficient. Bugger me. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. And I've got plenty of facilities for iron. I really do. So let's just have a look at iron production, shall we? Not on local planet. Let's just have a look at entire star cluster. That's what I want. We'll go in ore production ascending. No, production descending. So iron ore, we're producing 31.5 a minute. We're consuming 32 a minute. Iron ingots, reducing, consuming just as much. So yeah, we're producing more iron ore than we're consuming. So, well, actually no, because some of the iron ore is being consumed for making magnets. Yes. So, one more facility for the refinement of iron, and then I'm going to go and get myself some unipolar magnets, because as we can see here, all of this has been so I can increase my production. Yes, increase the production of particle containers. And that click 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 sound is my is the stove fan. That's what it is. So that's it. Iron ore. Yes, so iron ore comes out to 100 smelters like this. Under pressure, going down on me. Dun dun dun, but see, can't sing as well as V. Under pressure, brr brr brr, da 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 da. So many people in the street. Under pressure. One, two, three, four. One, two, three, four. 2, 3, 4. And last two. One, 2, 3, 4. So do a remote demand and a local demand for iron ore. Okay, so now let's get this yet another facility for refining of iron ore into iron ingot. Yes, indeed. So I'll do that. And this one is a special case. We'll do it separately. Can't all line up together. That's quite alright. Lack of item again. Didn't I just pick up a bunch of belts? I did, didn't I? So let's say do a local demand. There we go. Have the construction drones bring them to me rather than me going to them. Why should I be the one that's doing all the running around? I hate that bit. No. They come to me. Simple as. No, I think I shall need some smelters because 90 is not going to be sufficient for what I am doing. Oh boy, I can feel a wave of time that's just washing over me right then. Yeah. Well, maybe it'll be time for a nap soon, but no, I want unipolar magnets before I have a nap, and that means a factory that processes them into particle containers. So I'll do this, and then the facility for, well, it will mean that the motor factory will finally get motoring again, because... Oh, 37. Right, let's do that. Run over so that the drones are a bit faster. Right. And hey, look at that. Just enough of survived, so let's do a few more, shall we? Because yeah, I could make this longer, but I don't want to. Is it laziness? Partly it's down to laziness. Partly it's that I'm getting bored of doing the same thing over and over again. And you could argue that this game is all about doing the same thing over again and again. Well, yes, largely that's true, but there are some new areas which I wish to explore. Areas with unipolar magnets. So let's do some exploration, because I think that would be more interesting than listening to me whinging about building yet another factory stroke smelter. So let's at least admire the work we do. So we see here is our belts of iron coming into there, and just as soon as they get in there they go out, because of course we got big demand for belts, gears, and then of course the gears, they're going off God knows where, but I would like to think that, well, there we go, we got a local demand for gears. Yeah, so gears are coming in, and then we can see we've got motors, and just as soon as those motors are being produced, of course they're going to these thing here for making the turbines, and then of course the turbines are going to their respective places. But now let's zoom out. So Gamma Delphini, yep, that's not got it, but NTR's got unipolar magnets, and DSRJ has got unipolar magnets, as well as some other interesting things. So let's see, Coroni Borealis, let's jump to there first, and then when I'm there I'm going to recharge. So let's just build up some speed. There, I've now left the planet's gravitational pull. And Lambda, Epsilon, Alpha Rats, Kitane, Coroni Borealis, there it is. So let's go to that one. Not enough space warper. Oh dear. Ah, you know what? I'm actually a bit low on fuel as well, so there's the nearest planet. Let's zoom on in. Build up some speed. And oh bugger. Wrong bloody angle. Let's slow things right down. Re-angle myself for entry. There we go. Now let's see. This is just a planet for extracting. Ah, but there is some good. So there's bloody hell, that was noisy. I do apologise. That was my digestive organs. They decided to make some noises. I guess they woke up. Internal sphincters. So it's not just the one on your bum, you've got sphincters all over your body. The one on your bum or the one in your bum? Don't know where on or in is. I think it's I can use these really but don't well, we'll see. Well, why not? Why not? I was trying to use them all up, you see, and then I just realised that either way you're only delaying the inevitable, that once that is all gathered, you're going to deconstruct those belts and you're going to go somewhere else. And quite rightly so. But let's put in the things which this needs. So iron ore, yep, and warpers. So that's the second thing we want in there. Local demand. No supply. So, yep. Then we'll just do a local demand on that. And we're not gathering any iron ore for anywhere else. So there we go. Now it's getting its requisite power coming. We see that even the slow belt was quite sufficient to keep up with the output of these miners. So I believe there's more iron ore there. Yep, there's iron ore, there's silicon ore. So in fact I'll have this demand silicon ore as well. So local demand for a remote supply. I'm going to take some of those workers and I'm going to load them up in my inventory. So here they are. So this is the one I want. Oh, well done, yes. Put the poker on the stove and then it's too hot to bloody handle. Yeah, that's a good idea. God, it's like I have all the tools necessary for touching the fireplace and I still do it with my bare hands. Like an idiot. Or if I'll be quick, it won't hurt that much. Or you could be slow and you could use the tools provided and it not hurt at all. Or maybe some of us like the pain. Well then you're a sick masochist and you've got no sympathy from me. Especially as I'm now suffering the after effects of that pain. That was bloody painful. Dumbass. Oh yeah, but the fire didn't feel that hot, so I didn't think it'd be... This is a strange argument to be having with myself. Chastising myself for the pain I'm already in. As if the chastisement makes the pain any less. It's not that bad, actually. I'm playing it up. I'm playing a bit here. Well, after all, Shakespeare said all the world's a stage and everyone plays his part. So, as do I play the role of a hobbit. Yes. I think I do a rather good job of it as well. You don't even know what a hobbit is. Well, seeing as I embody the spirit of hobbitness, I say yes I do. And I know it quite well. Because I call myself the Hobbit, and I am the Hobbit. Therefore, I am a Hobbit, and I know what Hobbit is. Who of the Shire can... What's that thing... That poem? Was it by Rudyard Kipling? Who but the English can know what England is? Who is an English... Who... Oh, I can't... It's so simple, but yet so... That's the beauty in poetry. It's when you get like a good concept that's actually fairly highbrow, but then you manage to like distill it down into a simple, salient piece of poetry. And that's the genius of good poetry. Who can England know what England knows? Who knows of England like the English? Who can know England like the English know? It's something along those lines, and I'm getting it wrong, and because I'm getting it wrong, it's losing all its meaning gravitas. And if I knew what I was trying to say, then I could say, who knows the Hobbit of the Hobbits, or something like that. So all you other people saying that, you're not really a Hobbit, you haven't read the Silmarillion, so... No, and I never intend to read the Silmarillion. It sounds really boring. Why would I want to read that? Why would I want to read something which would detract from my pleasure and entertainment in Lord of the Rings? If you put ice on top of your thermocoupling fan, would it turn faster? Yes, it would actually turn faster. Because the greater temperature differential you make between the top bit and the bottom bit... In fact, I've done it before on a hot day, where I've put the bottom I've left it out in the sun all day, so it's about 40 or 50 degrees, and then I put the bottom of it in some frigid water, and it will start spinning, because there is a plus 40 degrees temperature differential between the 50 degree fins at the top and the 0 degrees frigid water. So yeah, and it's incredible to see it, but then you realise that, okay, what's going on there is that the energy is actually stored in the fins, because it's, you know, science. Yeah, bitch, science. Yeah, science, bitch. I need to rewatch Breaking Bad at some point. It's such a good show. It's much better than that one about the solicitor. You know, who's slipping Jimmy. There it is. And put that in there. There we go. And that way I'll have a nice even number of them things. But let's make sure, because I get a feeling that we're going to be needing the iron ore in the future. So, pop those in there. Do that there. And then I think we'll just bring it into this one, because why not? So we'll do that. And then do that. So there's the iron ore. And there goes iron ore. Off to supply wherever it needs. Now we get myself some hydrogen fuel's better than no fuel. I mean, it's not deuterium, but it's something, that's for sure. So now we're here. We're going to go to Corne Borealis. Is that the one? Yep. Corne Borealis. And what? This Gamma Delphini is a bit too far away to do in a single warp. 20 light years. But 7 light years? Yeah, no problem. So we are going at the speed of 12 astronomical units a second, which really shouldn't be enough to do a light year so quickly, but in this game a light year is 60 astronomical units, and 1 astronomical unit has been estimated to be about 40 kilometres. So, Corne Borealis coming right up, my lover. And oh, look at that, I'm getting 20 frames a second. Oh, the simulation's speeding up. I'll have to check on Merope soon. See what the status of the Dyson Sphere is over there. And here's this planet, which I've done... Oh no, I have actually done something on there. There's not much, but there is something. So, go over there. And, why don't you have... you don't have power because I haven't connected the power. That's probably why. Well, let's connect up some power, shall we? power, but these are complaining about lack of power as well. You should be demanding not that much. Yeah, this was the mistake I made, where I was like, oh dear, I have a bit too much of X, Y, and Z. So let's just set these to export, was it? Yeah, something along those lines. But anyway, we'll get this built, and then when the power comes back on, we'll be able to get flying again. But in the meantime, just see that, yep, we are now using up the hydrogen fuel, which is good. I mean, that's what it's there for. So we just got to wait for a delivery of batteries to come here. And here they come. Here come the batteries. Didn't take long at all to wait for those. So I see them coming into land. And turning around to do their manoeuvre. Batteries coming right out again. And satisfying everything with power, the way it should be. So we'll just wait until we're fully charged up with power before setting off into the great beyond. And there we go. There's our power refueled. So now it's gamma. What is it? It's not alpha rats, although there's definitely a lot going on there. Just remind myself where I need to be going again. It is Gamma Delphini. There it is. 12 light years away. So just check our fuel reserves. Yep. Science. Science indeed. The joys of a firmer couple. What's the time anyway? Oh yeah, the time I see there is 2:45. So let's get those unipolar magnets. So we'll do a jump to Gamma Delphini, where we'll use the power there to recharge the mecha's energy reserves. 3.5 light years away. We've still got a third of a tank left. Excuse me. And I think it's only in planet 6 where I've got anything at all. Except planet 6 is a gas giant. So, there it is. Hidden there. Lots of silicon, bit of iron, and fractal silicon. Not that there's much demand for silicon crystals, but and that's right. We got our little factories here making. Oh, I got a factory making gears, and we'll need iron. So, really, what this is telling me is I should have yet another smelting facility for iron over here. But in the meantime, let's just have some wireless charging poles. And the idea behind this is to give myself power so that I can recharge myself. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. And 0. That's it. Okay, so get the fuel in there. And this one's purely working on accumulators, so there's no fuel, no power stations of sorts. Just wait for this to recharge. Now, why have you only made 201? Because you're lacking those components. Ah, yeah, processors. Processors, it needs microcrystalline components. Don't have many of those. Gears is lacking iron. Plenty of solar cells here, because this is the hottest star in my entire star cluster. That there. So I want to do what I can to get the to get it. But anyway, I am here and I need to get to either there or there. So yeah, and what's that one? A white dwarf, optical grating crystals. Nice, but not what I asked for. Yeah. So let's go to the... So, Gamma Delphini, NTR, that's the one. 3 light years away. And there's DSR. Which one's which? Oh, that's exciting. Oh, look at that. Neutron star with 3 million units of unipolar magnets, so... Let's see if I can escape the gravitational pull of it. Just about. Yep. Yeah, I've escaped its gravitational pull. Let's go land on this planet, which is 3 astronomical units away. As soon as I stop accelerating, my speed decreases. I am being pulled back. So let's just keep on holding that. Because I want to get to that planet. Don't seem to be getting to it in any... seems to be taking a long time to get there. Ah, no, it is getting wider now. I mean, I'm going as fast as one can, really. There we go, it's starting to get visible now. I think I'll have the factory actually on the planet itself. Oh, another one of these frozen ice rocks. Yeah, that's exciting, isn't it? So come on, where's the... Ah, there's the magical magnets. Oh no, there's more than one patch of magical magnets here. I call them magic magnets because imagine a magnet, but it's only got one of the poles. I mean, what's up with that? Who knows? But I've got to have it. It's got to be mine. So I'm having it. Let's have a look at... Oh, excuse me. Well, the sun is setting on this neutron star of a world. So let's order in various things. I think we'll go with deuterium. No, we'll have accumulators and deuterium. So, first of all, warpers, put them in. Not that they'll do anything without power. Then we'll do full accumulators, no more than 2,000, please. And empty accumulators. And deuterium fuel cells. There we go. Yep, that'll do. So, remote demand and remote demand. There we go. So that's good news. We got the supply of accumulators are coming. So let's go and get them. Let's go and build a facility for the accumulators, shall we? Yes, quite. Very apropos. And oh look, it's dawn on the planet again. And now we're just coming up to midday. And there it is, midday. So 33 left, I should say. There's 3. 4. 5. I think 5 should be sufficient. I mean, that's 5 times 45. That's, is that 190? No, it's not 190. 450. No, 450 would be 10 lots. So half of 450 is 225. 225 megawatts. Well, that's a decent budget to play around with. Yeah, very decent budget. Do that, and then say we want maximum recharge demand in there, and say enable warp once you're half at AU out, because there's no other planet in this star system. Yep, it's just there it is, and oh look, I think that's right. If that's no, that's the accumulators. Yeah, baby, yeah. Accumulate, baby. 280. So that is demanding a bit more than what we can supply. Not to worry. The solution to that is just more of these. In fact, there we go. So the unipolar magnet facility, oh, let's do it. I keep complaining about it, but it needs doing, so needs must, as they say. Don't know why they say needs must, but do as needs must. Is that the reason why? Don't know. Sounds plausible. Yeah. So do that and use a combination of all sorts of things, Because slow belts, there's no problem using slow belts here. They don't decharge that fast. There we go, we seem to have satisfied that. So in this bit we go unipolar magnets. There we go, available for local supply, available for remote supply. So now, where else are unipolar magnets? Ah, there they are. Right, so we do the one here, here, here and here. Do that. Lack of item. Well, good thing we're going to use one of these because it looks like we're going to need it. So let's just gather our unipolar magnets, and well, we've got some iron ore, so yes, we're going to gather those as well. And as this is an interstellar hub, we shall be demanding locally some warpers, but of course. Now, this one, I wish it to demand mining machines. 1300? No, make it 1200. Remote demand. And there we are. 100 are on its way. Very good. And let's get rid of that one there. Like so. I've picked up a unipolar magnet, so pop that in there. Oh, might as well make it charge up fast. There we go. Was using 80 megawatts, now it's using 200 megawatts. And here come our 1200 mining machines. Excellent. Oh yeah, the other unipolar magnets are there. So let's have our facility for making particle containers, the advanced recipe. So, first things first, we want warpers. Yes. Local demand. Keep it in storage, don't give it to others. And we want unipolar magnets, so we'll do local demand, remote demand, copper ingots, remote demand, and then we're going to supply particle containers made in assemblers. And I have some foundation, so I shall use it now to flatten this area like so. So unipolar magnets one side, copper ingot the other side. and then an output in there. That's it. Uses a lot of unipolar mounts to do it, but hey, it's a lot easier than what was being done before. And you never know, with this alleviating, with this reducing the demand for electromagnetic turbines, which in turn will reduce the demand on motors, which reduce the time on gears. It means I'll have more motors and electromagnetic turbines for elsewhere needed. Needed also 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's put that in there. Let's go that bit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go to the next bit. One, two, three, 4. Excuse me. $10,000 are on its way. Excellent. When they arrive here, we shall play. And here they come now. Excellent. Come on, come on. Ah, here they are. I don't think this will go very far, because for every 1 copper plate it uses 10 of these unipolar magnets. So this might be as far as the factory can extend. Let's find out. God, look how fast that day-night cycle is. Apparently it's even worse than the black hole, which is where we'll be exploring when I have this factory set up and the miner done as well. Yes. Do that there. Yep. And I may as well have some of those imported in. Although, probably won't be using it on this one, because I can just go here, use that. No, that's probably a bit too close. So, set up the mining facility first. Then I can set up logistics. Extraction, then logistics, then processing, then more logistics. And so the cycle of logistics continues. Let's use up these belts whilst we're on the subject of logistics, because I do like to see them being used. So that is unipolar magnet, and so we'll just shove some of those in, and of course as this is interstellar, might as well, it's got the room, so let's just have a bit of that in there and make sure it charges very quickly. Although we are running right 100%, so we're really demanding as much from the system as possible. But if we come here and look at this, I mean, we've got so the limitation, this might be able to extend further, but it really seems the limitation at the moment is just getting these unipolar magnets in. And look at that, we've got particle containers. Well, that's a turn up for the books, isn't it? Speaking of turning up for the books, when are we going to see the next consignment of, I think those are copper ingots. But one's coming in here to land. That's just landed with miners, but what about the planetary logistics station? That's what we want. And there comes it. There we go. Right, so I have 92. Yeah, that'll do. So from here, I'm done with exploiting resources on the planet for now. So let's just get away from there. Avoid the neutron star. And where is that? Where's that? There it is. Fire up the warp engine. And let's go to a black hole. So there we go. I think we did quite well. You know, we've established, we've managed to sort out one of the bottlenecks again, and we'll be going to. Won't be going back to the Dyson Sphere just yet, but look, there's a planet orbiting the black hole, and there it is. There we go. And it's another one of those frozen wastelands, but got plenty of optical grating crystals, unipolar magnets, an abundance of fire ice. So, yeah. And there's a black hole. And we've got oceans of liquid water on this planet. Let's just admire the view. Oh, no fuel. Well, in that case, I'll have to do something about that. I might have to just do little hops from one planet to another. Yeah, there comes, there's day on this strange world. let's get these unipolar magnets. Have them available for export. Can I get another one in there? Yes, I can. Bit of a funny angle. Not gonna lie. The angle there is a bit funny. But it's good. It's what we want. Oh, lack of iron. You're kidding me. Oh, no. Got one left. Oh, that's irritating. And you thought the day-night cycle on a neutron star planet was rapid. Look at that. Spinning around. Yep. Well, this is going to be exporting. No, not local demand, but do local supply on that. So we'll have another one nearby, like so, and connect the two. Just have one of those, that, and that, yep. And this one you shall request full accumulators, so do the demand for that. You shall export empty accumulators, and you shall request local warpers, so local demand, remote storage, and I shall offload. Don't have any of those. I need some of those, so I shall request logistic drones. So do a remote demand for those as well. And yeah, so let's put in a facility for offloading into accumulators. What's the word I'm looking for? Full accumulators. Yep. Discharge. There we go. Go to that and put it there. This is probably excessive for local demand, because I don't think I'm going to be building anything here. Mind myself, optical grating crystals. No, everything that's here I'll just have made for export, and I won't bother processing it here. I mean, oops. Go to that. Click, 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 and billions of clicks later, and we shall get to where we need to go. But what's this? What's this hurtling into the atmosphere of our planet? No, it's not the one. There's the two containing what we really want. That's a B-type star, and that's just the white dwarf. What's on there? Kimberlite ore. Oh, that could be turned into diamond. That's cool. But here comes the things which we really want. Let's just make sure power demand on this is 100% maximum. And you shall export unipolar magnets. $29.37. So as soon as those accumulators come into the next one, that's when we see, yeah, so big demand for power. Not surprising really. It's just grabbing that power as quickly as it can, and got some warpers in there. Yep. So they should be doing local supply, and that's got local demand. So come on. What you're waiting for to be fully charged? Is that it? Is that what you're waiting for? What you waiting for, buddy? Why ain't you doing it? 177. Let's do that. Now I've got full satisfaction. Ah, it's because they've only got 48 in stock. That's why they're not exporting it to the other places. Good, I can undo that. So, I thought I just buried it forever. That would have been really annoying. Yes, quite. So yeah, just do some more mining here, and that'll be me done for the day, I think. Just want those last bit of unipolar magnets for my collection. Why can't you just go like that? A bit unusual. So, optical grating crystal, that's the next thing. Local demand, remote supply, yeah. There's a fair bit of iron on this planet, which is useful. Ah, unipolar magnets are over there. Now the warpers, there they go. And there's warpers. So now some of these are going to fly off to get the drones which I've been asking for. that doesn't work. So, unipolar magnets. There's some. For whatever reason, that's... Oh, okay, that has launched its thing into space. Let's go to this one. Still waiting on them. Okay. There we go, now I can recharge myself. So those 4 shuttle vessels are on their way, picking up the pods, yeah. The drones, the planetary drones as opposed to the interstellar shuttles. There they go, they've exported some more of those, that's good. .26 frames a second. Almost getting into the 30s now. So what's that shuttle doing? Is that the one that's coming to pick unipolar magnets up? For its new, for the new facility that makes particle containers. Yep, picked up some unipolar magnets, and away you go. Come on, buddy. Kick it into high gear. There we go. That's it. Then we see a regular back and forth because I imagine that's now exporting particle containers back to probably Merope. I don't think that's the only place that's demanding it. And hopefully that is consignment of logistic drones. 4 shuttles in regular succession. I think it has to be. Almost there. Yep, that's it. That's our drones. So now I can set remote supply on this, and I can help myself to 998. Yep. So go over there. some drones in there. Now, unipolar magnets, fire ice, titanium, unipolar magnets. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So there's our unipolar magnet resource being done. So particle containers can now be made in alternate, simpler, easier way. And if I go to my statistics panel, tire star cluster, let's have a look. Iron ore, not in the past 10 minutes. Let's have a look in the past 10 hours. Yep, that's good. Hydrogen, yeah. Iron ingots. Stones, petered down, titanium, silicon, copper, magnets. Still demand for magnets. Titanium, not much demand for titanium. I thought there would be bigger demand than that. High purity silicon, that's sort of ramped right down. Probably. Oh, what is high purity silicon used in again? It's used in making microcrystalline components, solar panels. What's the microcrystalline component used in? It's used for making a processor, which is used for quantum chips. And okay, so when I'm not making quantum chips, and I'm making quantum chips for making small carrier rockets, yeah, all of that's died down. So that's why that demand has died down. So fire ice, coal, glass, deuterium, circuit board, graphite, refined oil, crude oil, sulfuric acid, gear, electric motors. The gear production, yes, so there's a big spike in production there, and then it's sort of petered out, but a bit better than before. Electric motors, that seems to have reached a hard limit. I think that limit there is like, that's as physically fast as they can push out. Water, there's still a demand for water. Microcrystalline components, a lot less demand now. Prisms, again, a lot less. Solar cells, yeah, that production shot right down. Carbon nanotube, steel, and then if I go to where's particle containers? There we go. Well, production's just ramped up. That's good, and consumption's remained about the same. So all in all, that looks pretty good to me. Alright, so let's do some hops. We'll go to the Gamma Delphini. That's it. Pick up some fuel, and then I'll go to Merope. And it seems that 12.5 AUs a second is the maximum speed you're going to get. Yep. Well, that's pretty good. Production has done what I want it to do. So, the Alpha Delphini 6. That's the one we need to get to. That's the one which has got an established settlement. Far away. Ooh. Was a bit too slow with the reversing then. Be nice if you could use these, like more of these in a way. Yeah, but you can't. You can only use so many. So that's fine. I'm not yet ready at the stage where I'm going to be making what's the word I'm looking for? Not quite at the stage where I'm going to be making a Dyson Sphere around this planet around this star, because look, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's, that's right, yep, 4 of those. There's 4 planets here where I can put ray receivers and do all sorts of things to gather the heat of this and volcanic ash planet. Yep. What we got next after the volcanic ash? You have ice giant and a lava. Yep. And then you have a arid desert. Yep. Very little axial inclination. That might be a good spot to put ray receivers on the poles and there. But I really want a whole bunch of them around the equator. And the reason for that is I think that's going to make it easy to do a belt feed for graviton lens, what is input, and then critical photons as an output. But anyway, let's get out of that planet's gravitational pull. Just accelerate a bit more. There we go. And there's Merope, 17 light years away. So let's go to... Let's just head to... Well, whatever we can reach, really. But it is nice that now nothing is beyond my reach within reason. Alpha Rats is just continuing to have a lot of back and forth. I wonder what's going on there. Don't even remember. I remember there's a lot of planets, and I probably spent a lot of time setting up mining facilities, but apart from that, I don't know. Core energy will deplete soon. Please refuel. 1.4 light years away from Corne Barisius. So come on, baby. Gonna get there. Gonna get there. Oh. Yeah. I can get there. I can get there. It's going to take me some time, but I'm slowly I'm slowly regenerating fuel from a magic place. But I think that will do with me for today. So thanks very much. I can't believe this is not Factorio. Or maybe I can. And there's my game saved successfully. 250 megabyte file size.